Advanced English Arabic Learning Session 50. Her fingers tightened on the stem of her glass. Her aunt and her mother were stemming currents on the side porch. Surges of water rocked their boats from stem to stern. A nurse did her best to stem the bleeding. An attempt to stem the rising tide of unemployment. Pendant flowers on frail stems. The trial judge was entitled to exercise his discretion in dismissing the motion. The movie had won critical acclaim. She has won acclaim for her commitment to democracy. The couple are currently gearing up to jet off to Ibiza. Waxing has helped to eradicate pubic lice. Better to strike than get struck. Better to burn than get burned. The city has 24 telescopes aimed skyward around the city's perimeter. Visiting outside these times will be at the discretion of the midwife. The crab-shaped insects made homes in human groins since man first appeared. You are legit crazy. Investors would have to accept a prolonged period of uncertainty for UK assets. It will be for the court to exercise its discretion in deciding the verdict. The UK jobs market has experienced an unprecedented boom so far. I felt marginalized. I think she's playing a game because it happened the day she was put up for eviction. The forced eviction of residents. A mother who faced eviction has been given a reprieve. 2 men to receive an award for their bravery. Wedding gowns. Tears started spilling from her eyes and a choked sob tore from her throat. War debases people. The tears flowed down her face, and she let out a small stifled sob. I will get to the bottom of it. With a sob of joy she embraced me, holding me tightly, cheek to cheek. The dilemma of a choice between chaos and injustice is perhaps very real. With a sob of despair she threw herself onto the bed. The frayed collar of her old coat. As the temperature rose, tempers frayed. The proceeds from the raffle helped to defray the expenses of the evening. Abruptly, Vampire joined the fray, fighting with preternatural speed and strength. With undue fuss, he clambered to his feet and returned to the fray. France entered into the fray as an ally of Russia and declared war on Germany. In the fray, soldiers flay and slay. She scampered up the small hill toward the light. It wasn't only the children who scampered after the treasures. His humanitarian vocation was to improve the lives of others in the very region. An accomplice in the murder. Cheap fabric soon frays. He hauled his tired bones upright. He is chilled to the bone. He used to terrorize me, but as I grew older, he became funny to me. He's a cop to the bone. You vote yes, we go our separate ways forever. Meadowlark. She has now become a shy introvert after surgery to remove the tumor. I only went along for a lark. A ruthless killer still lurked in the darkness. Chewy candy. Our condolences go to the families of David who have borne this with such fortitude. You entered voluntarily into a coalition with the USA, just as your predecessor Tony Blair did. An effort to soothe frayed nerves. Financial assistance to help defray costs. To help defray school expenses. Other bidders could enter the fray. The terrorist dubbed John as the securities seek to track him down and bring him to justice. All Sue's advice was taken to heart by the committee. She listened to his advice and took it all to heart. You can wade into the fray. Delectable handmade chocolates. Don't take that to heart. A man suspected of matricide. The tribesmen who were retaining fragile control of the facility. Sorry, I mistook you for someone else. They were able to build a fortified town and a strongholds in case of an assault. Sorry, I thought you were someone else. The stench of rotting fish. To ease the aches and pains of the office, ask your partner to gently rub your shoulders. The snow was almost knee-deep. They no longer need to balance their upper bodies on the horse's crest. Soon they disappeared over the crest of the hill. Are you okay? Not excessively. He bested us in every game. A streak of oil. How could the press or the citizenry distinguish between information and disinformation? Britain's libel laws are almost the opposite of those in the United States. To slander and libel people. She brings a romantic and mystifying element to each role. That mesmerizes me. This is an earnest plea to all female staff. She pleaded with them not to gag the boy, pleading that the later agreement was not correct. These areas of volcanic activity are caused by subduction of tectonic plates. The Indian plate dives beneath the smaller plates along a line called a subduction zone. The former model tends to use physical analogies like the diffusion of light or the growth of a plant. To plead the case for 3 prisoners. Their help have made an immense difference to the welfare and happiness of our family. Local metallurgy evolved into bigger factories including English smelting furnaces. Oblivious to the passage of time. Polluted by a buildup of mid-latitude emissions from fossil fuel combustion. I slopped coffee in my saucer, spilled. Weather is pleasant during the short winter time, spanning from December to February. She wore a sloppy sweater and jeans. Because of aridity, vegetation plays only a secondary role in soil composition. You don't get the change you want by ripping your country apart. Do not make the concrete too sloppy, watery. She had her second breast augmentation. Scientists are sharply divided over what caused the extinction. The car had skewed across the track. Topsy-turvy means upside down. Prominent biologists say we're on par with the previous mass extinctions. The world has, indeed, gone all topsy-turvy. A military campaign cannot be ruled out. The topsy-turvy months of the invasion. The government has imposed a censorship blackout on the media. We are facing many weighty issues. There is an information blackout on the case, she said. Your loved one might remonstrate you with your neglecting family needs. You should make an effort and try to defuse the tensions. A cloistered walkway. Introducing new curbs. As a result of missionary influence, it has become customary for a woman to cover her hair with a scarf or hat. Scottish nationalists are facing further accusations of bullying and intimidation. The independence debate turns increasingly bitter. Security Council bickers. Sobering warnings. She enrolled on the training scheme as a last-ditch attempt to do something with her life. He is arrested and taken to police station to be interrogated. Crinkled paper money. Effective immediately, from now on. Polygamy is illegal in the United States. Zip it up and listen. Couples have the option of choosing between monogamy and polygyny. I am off to deliver some nibbles to my husband. Students choose among 3 sexual lifestyles: celibacy, monogamy, and free experimentation. She is a senile crone. Younger men were more likely to stray, saying monogamy was outdated. The conquistador hero. Monogamy is a debatable subject that differs for each individual. We gotta gear up. Although there are polygynous marriages in some Orient ethnic groups, monogamy is the norm. A skittish chestnut mare. Jumping right in. The light flared like a beacon in the universe, bright enough for all to see. Welcome one and all. Yet it is a colossal mistake to concentrate on the negative aspects of our society. Has he confessed yet? Abrasive selection is dependent upon the amount of residue or burrs to be removed. You can pour off the oil that settles at the top. Pour off fat and make gravy with meat residue. She upended your life. The residue of the estate was divided equally among the cousins. A pro bono consulting. Scattered depressions in the desert fill with water after a rainfall. Pro bono legal services. He suffered heat stroke which led to the coma. Most people have probably heard of the saying, is your glass half empty or half full? Venereal disease. Fleeces are the wool shorn from a sheep. If you want to live a happy life, you need to have a positive approach for everything. Stand down. Let her pass. After a few years of vigorous controversy, the second great debate petered out. Snooty neighbors. The theme park will help the town improve its environment and infrastructure. The Hollywood movie mogul, Sam Goldwyn. The Chinese healing art of acupuncture is one that can be dated back at least 2,000 years. Varsity athlete. Is there a booger hanging from my nose or something? Gazing out at the bay, the old man reminisced about the past. Cogent and compelling arguments. The end. Coming next. Session 51.